On the count of five, four, three, two, one, we are live. Hello and welcome to PropTechBuzz. PropTechBuzz is the world's only new age digital marketing platform for PropTech products globally. We call ourselves New Age because there's no other platform that combines media, products, leadership, and community together. And we find out ways to help buyers make right buying decisions. And for the sellers, for the PropTech companies, we ensure we get relevant, high quality eyeballs from your target audience globally at the most efficient marketing budget. And in that direction, this week, we launched our first category listing page. It's the smart water metering products, which got a lot of eyeballs. And I'm going to quickly, before I introduce my guest today, who is already here on screen, just take the liberty and share our smart water metering screen. Oh no, just a second, stop screen. Let me share that again. All right, this is the one. Here we go. All right, so this is the portal that we created for smart water metering monitoring, where we consolidated some of the prominent names globally, and and we got a lot of good reception, lots of feedback. There were a few that we had missed out upon. We got them listed, and yeah, it acted as a conversation starter on what smart water metering is, what monitoring is. And that's exactly why we decided that let's talk to an expert on trying to make sense of this very dynamic landscape. Water tech as an industry has become very popular in the last few years, and we thought, okay, why not get hold of an expert and try to understand this landscape a little more. So here we are with John Robinson, and this interview will be embedded in the same portal that I just showed you so that you can have a look at it. So we are creating a portal of sorts where we have the products, we have a discussion board for anybody who wants to pose questions to these companies, and we also have knowledge hub where you will be able to understand more about this landscape. So find this video. So if you're listening to this, you will soon find this video there. So let me introduce my guest today. Absolute privilege to welcome John. John Robinson is the partner at Mazarine Ventures. In fact, John has joined our platform as a VIP. John has been in wastewater for 15 long years, operating as a consultant and technology investor. Since 2018, he has been partner at Mazarine, an investment group. And Mazarine is into wide range of sectors that face water quality and quantity risks, including agriculture, aquaculture, manufacturing, and so on and so forth. John himself has spent a greater part of his career in and around innovations in microbiology, chemistry, material sciences, data science, and so on. He also welcomes opportunities to connect with others who share his passion for climate adaptation tech, or CAT as Mazarine refers to, and generate social environmental impact by backing early stage technology companies with innovations that helps everyone manage risks associated with water and wastewater. So during the course of this conversation, we are going to also understand what is the kind of portfolio that Mazarine has invested in. So in this conversation, we are primarily trying to learn from John about the overall water tech landscape. What are the different subcategories within the water tech is? And with that, let's welcome John. John, welcome to PropTechBuzz. How are you doing today?
Ravi, it's a pleasure to be on the show. Thanks for the invitation. Big fan of PropTechBuzz, and finally you're able to get around to me. I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much. And since you're a VIP, and we are introducing some very exciting VIP features on our platform, but that's for some that's offline. But maybe let's get started. I gave a brief intro about your accomplished career. So you're an expert and you're a veteran in the water tech space. Give me a sense of why water tech has become so popular in the recent times.
Why and how? So water has always been a problem for humanity. Whether you're a farmer, an elected official, a mother, a principal of a school, whatever you're doing in life, water plays a role. Too much water is very disruptive. Too little water is also disruptive. And then compromised water, impaired water, contaminated water obviously makes you sick and can kill you. So water's always been a problem. A million years ago, 1,000 years ago, it killed people and it was problematic for people. 1,000 years in the future, it's always going to be an issue. So human beings have always tried to figure out how to control it, manage it. And something like an aqueduct, a dike, a levee, a pump, these are all innovations. They're kind of crude innovations, but like nevertheless innovations that have helped industry, including agriculture and buildings and society, which includes government and public sector, innovations to help those people become more efficient in the way they use it and manage it. So that's my first point, is like water has always been a problem and there's always been innovation. It's kind of crude innovation, but people have always been managing it. So it's not a new problem. The way we look at it as investors is maybe different than other people. And if your audience is taking notes or sort of looking for some framing around water and water tech, there's 3 buckets of opportunity. And today we're going to talk about one of the segments in the middle one. But the 3 are, the first one is utilities, drinking water utilities and wastewater utilities. They sell you water and they deal with the wastewater. Massive business, political, bureaucratic, underfunded. They're in the business of rendering a service to the community to sell you water and deal with your wastewater. Tons of money spent, but it's like conservative and just challenging. There's opportunities to make money in that utility space, the sellers of water, but it's complicated. The second one is the users of water. Farmers use water. Power plants use water for cooling. We use water in our home for washing dishes, washing clothes, cooking. Pulp and paper uses water. Apparel manufacturer uses water. Manufacturing uses water. Mining uses water. Getting things out of the earth uses water. Water's a core input for lots of industries that need to accomplish something else, but they need water to get there. And then the third, that's the second one. We'll get into the property bit of that in a minute. The third and final vertical in water is exposure to water risk. For example, insurance companies. Insurance companies aren't selling you any water. They're not really using it. I mean, besides like in their offices and the bathrooms or whatever, they're not users of water to accomplish their business of insurance. What is their problem with water? Claims. Claims. The number one claim globally is not burglary. It's not fire. Water damage.
Is it?
Number one. If you've ever owned real estate, if any of your audience have ever owned real estate, they know that water damage is the number one headache of building owners everywhere.
Water damage because of floods, or you're talking
a leaky, someone on the floor above you leaks down to you. That's super disruptive and complicated. A leaky dishwasher, leaky washing machine, mold, water, moisture in walls, and mold, and all these kind of things. So flooding from the outside, of course, is a risk for real estate, but even water in property. And if you've ever, I mean, for schools, if the utility has to shut down the water for whatever reason, no water at the school today, guess what? Those kids aren't going to school. That's super disruptive for the family and the school. Like, or if the company doesn't have water one day for whatever reason, the utility, we got to shut off the water. It's a risk. So finance industry, you lend money to a property developer that wants to build a property next to a river. Okay, I built a beautiful property right next to the river. Good idea, right next to the river. Fast forward 2 years later, that property's ground floor is underwater. Who's that bad for? The building developer? Be sure. Who's that bad for as well? The lender. The property's not worth what it used to be anymore because it floods every year in the river. So the bank is not in the water industry. They're in the water risk industry. So just to summarize here, sellers of water, utilities, they spend money on technology and engineering. They sell you water and they have problems. Users, and then indirect water risk economy. For another example, like stormwater in cities. No one's selling stormwater. No one's using stormwater. It's a headache for city council and the mayor. It's a headache for public health and safety. It's a headache for transportation, getting things around. It's a flooded road, a flooded railroad tracks. You can't get products to market. So claim. So it gets back to insurance. Claim. So you want to build a building. The riskiest time of a building is when it's under construction. It's open, exposed to rain.
Yeah.
Well, what does rain have to do with water? Everything. It is water. So if it rains on a building when it's exposed and under construction, it's very problematic. I mean, it will rain, but like the more rain that has in the building, it sets back time schedules and concrete drying, all these problems. So water is a headache for a lot of people beyond just the water industry, which is utilities. So of those three, the middle bit, your audience would be interested in water challenges for property owners, operators, and occupiers. So that's sort of how we see water tech.
Sure, got it. And so let's break down. So you said utilities, uses of water, exposure to water risks. Is the water tech landscape also divided into these three areas? How do you?
Most practitioners out there in the world who are in water, quote unquote, probably are thinking utilities, because in building you're thinking it's plumbing.
Right.
It's plumbing. It's not water tech. That's just plumbing. That's moving water through a pipe. So I would say most of business professionals and most people out there, like water means the utilities. Like my mom and my friends, like John works in water, and their minds immediately go to a utility. And they're like,
Sure.
you can't make money in water until you raise rates.
Yeah.
The rate of what it's like. Well, okay. What about if the property has a leak on the 20th floor, and the 19th, 18th, 17th floor have damage to all the things? Like that's not rates anymore. That's asset protection risk for the building owner, which means you got to replace all the fittings, and then you can't get rent on those units because they're water damaged. No one's going to come into it. So that's not the water industry anymore. I've got a water headache problem. So the fire, another one within property is fire suppression systems, sprinkler heads.
Yes, sprinkler heads. Yes, yeah.
Is that water tech? Yeah. I know people wouldn't think of it that way. So you asked me how we frame it. Most people think water, they think utilities, and then they think plumbing in buildings, but all of it is water tech. So in terms of taxonomy and framing, I don't know what other people, how they frame and see the market, but like how we see it is utilities, users, and exposure. And across all three, there's opportunities for hardware and software. And across all three, there's opportunity for AI and machine learning. And that's a big area of our focus as investors, is on leveraging the data science toolbox to generate improved visibility, improved control over water problems.
Yeah. So with Mazarine, how do you divide this industry? Like, have you segmented this industry in certain ways? Because
the industry. Sorry to interrupt you. The industry we're in is water risk.
Oh, you are in water risk. Okay,
water risk. Not the water industry. The water industry. I mean, you go to aisle 5 in the supermarket,
right?
All those bottled water, Fiji water, and these what? That's the water industry.
Right. So I'm just.
Yes or no? The aisle in the supermarket with all the water, is that the water industry? Yes or no?
Got it. Yes.
So what you're showing on the screen here right now, this is utilities with a little bit of industrial.
I see.
This is the traditional framing of water and water tech. Traditional framing of water and water tech. It's like saying media and putting the New York Times, the London Times, the Wall Street Journal media. But wait, isn't Facebook and Twitter media? So this is like traditional water industry, 80% utilities, 20% industrial. And I would venture that there's very little on this logo wall here that is property related. Maybe a couple logos.
Let me pull up something else. Okay, this is an alternate view. It talks about water analytics, which is flooding and stormwater, water quality, water risk. Okay, and then there's water leakage, water management, water treatment, and so on. Would this be a better segmentation for you? Like, I mean,
treatment, irrigation, smart appliance. Yes, this is better. Well, this is closer to property and real estate. So, I mean, of course, utilities, it's a big opportunity, a big market, and you've got companies going after that. But like for your audience, which is property focused, commercial and residential property,
Yes.
this looks a little closer.
Got it.
Leakage, water management, water treatment, irrigation, smart appliance. Yeah, this is
Got it.
an improved a taxonomy, a framing that can be
Got it.
helpful in doing deals. Some of these ones that I like water treatment, like just good. Yeah, desalinator. I don't know how that's. No, some of these ones are. I mean, I don't know. Like some of these ones, like Hohonu on the top left, that's
Yeah.
like sea level rise. I guess so.
Mm,
Real estate. If you're real estate near the ocean, then you need to know water risk related to property. So some of these ones are like beyond simply the property itself.
got it.
But
So
yeah, it
so
seems like
let's
nice local one.
let's let's double down on since your focus is on water risk, let's double down on that landscape. What kind of problems these products in water risk are trying to solve?
Visibility. Visibility.
Mhm.
Water in property is behind walls mostly, or it's in a closet where there's a hot water heater, or it's under the sink, or it's in the laundry room, or it's somewhere where you can't see it. And it's
Mm,
so the risk is tools, hardware and software, sensors, monitors, and cloud computing tools to help the owner of the asset or the operator, occupant see water is quantity and quality is traditionally been elusive. It's been hard to see. I mean, it comes out of the tap, you can see it, but before that, you can't see the quality and you can't see the quantity. And if there's leaks behind a wall, it's hard to see.
got it.
So we're really keen on 80% of our focus is on data producing tech. So it's sensors to
Mm,
produce the data. But as we all know, data alone doesn't solve a problem. You need analytics and you need insights and probability and algorithms. So that it's sort of producing data and then transforming data into actionable. That's where the investment grade opportunities are for investors, is in improved visibility of water or wastewater and property and improved analytics right here on your phones. You can see how much water am I using? Are there any anomalies?
got it.
And how much is it costing me? Like hot water. One of the biggest costs of a property owner is heating hot water.
Mm.
Is that WaterTech? Yeah. We would say hot water is like probably one of the most important categories. So on your taxonomy, you showed the logo wall. I don't think I saw A.O. Smith and Ream on there. Or
Mm.
Renai on there. Like those hot water guys. Like if you want to get into real estate and water, one of the very first topics of conversation is hot water.
Got it.
But leak detection comes up a lot. Do you know
Mm.
why? Because leaky pipes and leaky toilets and it's a big headache for property owners and operators. So
Mm.
disruptive. But I wouldn't even say that's water tech. I would call that asset management tech.
Mm.
It's water is the medium and water's the problem, but like it's mostly the owner, the operator of the real estate asset is like, I've got this asset, it's worth 30 million. I don't want anything to happen to it because I'm renting it out, or the retail on the ground floor. I need to know water in the property, which means I need tools to see water all the time, quantity and quality.
Got it.
So in terms of investors, we like that space. So within that, you've got opportunities in the basement. So in single
Mm.
family homes or in commercial properties, you've got water comes into the home usually through the basement of a commercial property, even if it's an apartment tower.
Got it.
And you've got technologies to monitor water flow as it comes into the property. And it can monitor volume, it can monitor anomalies. We've
Got it.
invested in two companies. One company called Flume, which is a sensor that goes on the meter itself. A lot of these meters are old and dated. So Flume came in and said, we've got a better, cheaper, faster way to smarten up the meter to enable the users, the occupants, and the owner to see water use, as well as the utility. Because the utility really only cares about one thing, the meter. So they make their money. So Flume is a technology that can enable both utility who's selling the water to the property and owner, operator, occupant to see, we didn't use that much water that week. That building's been vacant. Why is there water moving?
Mm.
The utility doesn't care. It's like, whatever. You use that water, you got to pay me. It's like, but no one's there. It's like, well, then you got to leak somewhere. So the water usage and the monitoring of usage is an economic challenge for owners and operators and occupants. And also, if there's a leak somewhere at the meter, you can identify with some resolution where there's a potential leak. The other company we invested in is called Conservation Labs.
Yeah,
they are behind the meter, so they are using acoustic, an audio sensing technology to listen to the flow of water behind the meter. So forget about the meter. Utility cares about the meter. That's your billing. Behind the meter, you want to know, okay, water's going in different directions throughout the property. The plumbing is taking it to toilet here, a shower there, a faucet here. Because it's behind the meter, there's less noise. The meter itself is kind of a noisy device. Conservation Labs can listen to the movement of water, and using their machine learning tools and methodologies, they can generate algorithms to identify anomalies and normal condition assessment of any water event or appliance within the property. You might need a few different hardware, but essentially it's a microphone that's listening signature. Well, not a karaoke microphone, but like the signature of water. So if you flush the upstairs toilet and the downstairs toilet, that makes a different sound through the plumbing. The human ear can't hear it. And so that's it's the most affordable way. I mean, you can cut the pipe open and you can put like some sort of invasive sensor in there to determine like a paddle wheel or something to understand, or you can use ultrasonics to understand flow of water. They work, but it's expensive. This is non-invasive, and the movement of data from the sensor up to the cloud is really low cost. So it enables owners and operators to get improved visibility into water use, event by event, and room by room, and appliance by appliance. So these are technologies you want to put in like basementy kind of places and risers and like behind the walls to improve the visibility. But the key thing here for both these ones is better, cheaper, faster. I mean, sensors have been around for decades.
Yes.
But like Flume and Conservation Labs, the founders are like data science nerds. Water industry guys, not like water industry entrepreneurs, like engineers. These are data science nerds. Mark from Conservation Labs, he's in machine learning. He's a mathematician.
Now, quite interesting. I never knew that one could come up with a solution of solving for water leakages through acoustics. I never knew.
Yeah. Well, then you can also listen to a hot water heater. On day one, you install a hot water heater. Day one, you install it brand new, connect it. It makes a certain sound, right? Fast forward 2 years. Do you think that water heater makes a slightly different sound?
In fact,
with machine learning, you can say within 6 months, something's going to happen. You got to maintain it, or like a commercial. So a dishwasher, a washing machine, you need to maintain these things. You need a maintenance schedule. You need, especially big commercial ones, even at home. Like after 10 years, your dishwasher, like it might have some issues. It's going to make a different sound.
Yeah.
And so then the sound of it's about to break, it can alert you like you better maintain this thing, otherwise something's going to happen. Or the couplings come off a little bit and it's making a different sound. You're going to have a leak, and that's going to be headache inducing for you and the person on the floor below you. So it's a breakthrough in data science that enables.
Are there other players who also use acoustics solving this, or is this something being done for them?
There's some other companies out there who are using acoustics, but as far as we're concerned, Conservation Labs was, I mean, they brought the cost way down.
Got it.
So that anybody can afford to do this. Or, I mean, almost anybody. I mean, you in your home, maybe you might not need a Conservation Labs sensor. If you're just a single family house, you put it in there. I mean, buy a Flume, put it on the meter. I mean, it could be a better solution for you, but I mean, you can also put it on, so hot water heaters, dishwashers, washing machines. So the basement is, you got your heating, like in a closet or basement, sort of outside the living areas. You've got your like hot water heater. You've got your point of entry where the water comes in, technologies to understand quantity and quality. Then you've got the kitchen. Kitchen's where most of us, I mean, all of us just go to the kitchen every day. You're going to the kitchen for make rice or make pasta or like wash vegetables. Like the kitchen sink is always going. So you've got companies who are coming up with smart faucets, which they're not really smart. They're more like voice activated. So it's like, hey, Alexa, hey, Google, give me 1 liter of water. So that's interesting for someone who's busy in the kitchen. You can offer instructions to the faucet to do this much water and then turn it off. I only need half a liter. I only need 2 liters. Under the sink in some homes, you have a point of use filtration device under the sink with a RO or some ion exchange or some activated carbon. Those technologies, I mean, making it smart is hard because you need a media to remove stuff out of water, and it's hard to like. I don't think in 2024 like we're to the point where you can use like magnets or anything. You need some sort of material science. But what you can do is you can listen or monitor the performance of the filter media, and it can alert you that the filter media is almost exhausted on your phone. That's smartening up the filter. So currently, these filter companies give you a light. It's like, oh, it's been 6 months, change the filter. It's a pretty crude, crude dashboard. Red, yellow, green. The filter's working. The filter's nearing the end. What's needed is a company to come and let you know on an app, what's the condition of my filter right now for my family's health? Is it working? No one's really doing that in a meaningful way. We're looking at some companies right now that are smartening up the kitchen water filter. Is my filter working problem?
Got it. So when you talk about smart water tech, the difference between the difference between water appliances and smart water appliances is all about sensors and data. And
It's it's two things. So if you can think of a 2x2 an X and Y axis chart for your mathematicians out there in your group. So you've got this is for smart water. On the north-south axis, you have cloud. And at the bottom left, at the bottom of the north-south axis, you have local only, nothing up to the cloud. So that would be like just a faucet. Turn it on, turn it off. There's nothing really about a cloud. But if you go up that north-south, you can connect that faucet to cloud, which enables you to turn that faucet on and off from another location. So it's like connectivity to the cloud enables you to do things or sense things or monitor things from the cloud. The east-west axis is controls. So bottom left corner, hand, turn it on and off. You go all the way to the right on the east-west axis. You've got intelligent operations, which means because of the sensing, something happened. There was a leak. Control, it automates the shutoff. So where you want to get it is the top right corner of your XY axis here. The top right corner is real-time sensing of an asset, a water-related asset in the home. And then it turns things on and off without even human involvement. That's smart. So that top right quadrant is where you want to be. You've got sensing real time, and the computer is deciding, do this, do that, or don't do anything at all. Bottom left corner is I physically go down and look at the hot water heater and turn it on, turn it off. Like I turn things on and off myself because it sounds weird to my ear, or I saw something just crude. Not bad. I mean, we've looked at showers a lot, and there's a lot of founders trying to like smarten up the shower. Like, hey, Alexa, turn on my shower. Hey, Alexa, like make the shower hotter. Give me music in the shower. Per our informal market research, I don't think people want too much tech in their shower. 99.9% of people are happy to go in there, manually turn the thing on, shower, manually turn it off, towel, leave. Do you really need like
interesting
shower to like turn up the on your phone and like, even in the bathroom sink, brushing your teeth, shaving, whatever? Do I really need a mirror that talks to me and turns things on? I feel like the bathroom is like, I mean, besides bringing your phone in there and playing music, which I do, or listening to a podcast like PropTechBuzz, mostly the bathroom is like, stop with the smartening up of things in the bathroom. Like, I know how to turn on hot water. I know how to turn it off. Even in 50 years, I think human beings are going to be like, look, I got it. But Down in the laundry room, you probably want a computer monitoring flow and quality and
Got
the
it.
ability to smarten up and turn off the water if there's a problem somewhere. Like if water's been flowing for 2 hours, that's an anomaly. No one uses water that way. The computer would be like off. So that's the smartening up of water in the home.
Got it.
That's how we see it. So, but the
So may I ask you a question? So when we talk about of the commonest category, water metering and monitoring, is it still vague to say that, because it does not break into subcategories, it does not help understand what that category means, metering and monitoring? Would that be fair to say that?
I think it is a good one, but I think it's more like water use and management.
Mm,
I think that might be better. I mean, use and management of water, metering and monitoring is fine. I mean, maybe we're just like word choice, but I think
mm,
that an industry professional, like it's use and management of energy in the home. I get
mm.
metering and monitoring of energy. You can say that, but I think like usage of and management of is more venture capital related word.
Got it.
And someone could probably disagree with me. Like metering and monitoring seems just fine. I use the word monitoring several times in this call, and metering. I mean, we've invested in two companies that are metering, but
Yeah.
like I think use and management is a good way to frame it. Use and management of water.
Got it.
Another area that we didn't think about originally years ago when we started this, but the attic. So in single family homes, you have an attic. There's not much water use up there,
Right.
but there's moisture
Right.
that comes up, and moisture rots joists and roof. And so that's not the water industry. That's not water tech. It's it's managing water vapor in the attic
Mm,
to understand that like you've got a lot of moisture going up there. Within a couple of years, one of those joists is going to rot and you're going to have it. Or if you've got a leak in the ceiling, the humidity up there is going to increase. So it is monitoring, but it's managing water management in the property. So that goes way beyond the water industry,
got it.
and it goes
Got it.
way beyond like traditionally that logo wall you showed. Like it's more just like water risk.
Got
Another
it.
area that's often overlooked is pool and garden.
Oh yes, of course, we forgot that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but a lot of people don't associate that with it. I mean, it's just leak detection is the number one thing. But
Got
like
it.
smart sprinklers, there's a lot of companies who are coming out with smart sprinkler systems, smart pool controllers. Pool is a risk. If it's dirty and contaminated, the chlorine dosing's not working, your kids are going to get sick. Or if
Mm,
you've got a leak in the bottom of the pool, oftentimes pools, when they're built, um, they can leak on the bottom, like a crack, and then the water's going down into the earth, into the aquifer. And you
mm,
wake up, you go to bed at night, the water's at this level, and you wake up the next morning and the water's down like
got it.
half a meter. It's like it's evaporation or whatever. And so then it's like that's a cost because filling up a pool is pretty expensive. So we like technology companies that are monitoring water quantity and quality in the pool, spa, and garden. It's really interesting. And then you get into garden, you get into soil moisture sensors. Do I need to irrigate today?
Right.
The soil moisture sensor says the soil has enough moisture in it. Like I think like hold off on watering because the plants and everything have enough water to draw from. So
Got it.
we've expanded the definition of water in property way beyond leak detection.
Got it. Um, I want to understand as a VC, since you are at the cutting edge, you live and breathe water tech. You know how the world is evolving and changing. Where do you see are the opportunities that as a VC you are bullish or bearish about in, say, smart home building category?
I think the opportunity well, obviously I have to say we're bullish um, on at the meter and behind the meter sensing, which we those ones. So we've already made our bet there, though. I think beyond that, stuff we haven't invested in that we're bullish on is water quality monitoring in the property? Is my water good to drink?
Mm.
That's an interest in the next 5 years. Some entrepreneur out there is going to come with a better, cheaper, faster way of doing that. There's test strips and like little, you can test water and you can put some sensors. It's expensive or it's bulky and it doesn't work. But I think we're looking as investors and we're very bullish on innovations that enable homeowners or property owners to be able to understand water quality near real time. That is a massive game changer that will enable heads of households to be like, we need different filtration. Like whatever filter we have is not working because the water, like the contaminated water is getting through.
Mm.
And so we really like the real-time or near real-time water quality monitoring in homes.
Got it.
That's
And
number one. Another area is appliance monitoring. So dishwasher, washing machine, it's WaterTech. The whole business is water for those things. Both of those are like using water to accomplish them. Is my appliance operating within a band of normalcy? Tech. So we're looking for entrepreneurs who have better, cheaper, faster ways of integrating a sensor into the appliance. And then here, so that as a building owner or as an Airbnb rent, like I want to know that my appliances are working as they should be. And if there's a problem, alert me and we'll get maintenance to come in and figure out what's going on. No one's doing that now. So to summarize these two things, the filter problem, the first one about water quality in my kitchen, the guys selling membranes and filters, like they don't care. Buy more filter media, buy another cartridge, buy another media. Like, change it, sales. They really don't have too much motivation to arm you with knowledge of your actually water's really good. You don't need this expensive filtration system. Cities really safe water.
Yeah,
you don't need this. It's like, well, I want it. It's like
incentivized.
So they just want to sell you more replacement cartridge. So they're not really at the front end of this movement to arm owners and occupiers with water quality visibility. The second one, appliances. The appliance manufacturers, they already have thin margins selling a washing machine, a dishwasher. They don't want to put in another thing that adds to their cost of goods or like bill of goods that could potentially not work. And then the customer's like, oh, the sensor said my dishwasher doesn't work, but actually does work, or it said it's working and it doesn't work. I'm suing them because you said the sensor said it was working and then there was a leak. And so they just prefer to sell you the function of washing dishes and washing clothes. You're welcome. Is it working or not? I guess you'll find out when it stops working. And then you go buy a new one. So the incumbents in both these interests, of course, they pay lip service to innovation and they have innovation arms and R&D labs. And they're always like looking at things. But like, it comes down to it, the sales and marketing department is like, smarten it up, but like not too smart. So, but we feel like we're at an inflection point now where in the next 5-10 years, those appliances will start getting smart. And I would not be surprised if conservation labs and their technology is embedded inside a dishwasher when you buy it. And the company says, buy our dishwasher. And by the way, download our app. And by the way, connect our dishwasher to your Wi-Fi and to your phone. And we'll tell you performance with very high resolution. Like you go to like a really high-end Samsung dishwasher, like it's probably online. You might be able to turn it on and turn it off. But like I think the condition assessment sensing is pretty analog. Samsung guys might disagree, or maybe they're like working on something that I don't know about. Like, but that's what we're bullish on. What we're bearish on is shut-off valve leak detection. I mean, if there's a catastrophic leak, in the property, it would be nice if the computer just shuts off the water for the property. Of course, not more than it's nice. It's like saves you money and headaches to do that. But those valves sometimes get stuck. Those valves sometimes are reliant on a sensor that detects a false positive or a false negative, turns off the water for the property when you're in the shower or when your tenants are needing water and all of a sudden the water's off. You get a tenant calling you like the water's off. You go down there and check the smart valve turned off. Why? Then the client's like, this was so disruptive. We had this, that, we couldn't do these things, claim, lawsuit, grievance. We want to discount on rent. So the shutoff valves on pipes, it's a good idea. Not against it. But I don't think the market size is as big as the companies claim. There'll always be people buying shutoff valves that are smart for water leaks, and you'll always sell those things. But I think if you're a building owner, operator, occupier, just buy a sensor, stick it in there, and if there's a catastrophic leak and you're not home, by the time you got to have a neighbor come over and shut it off, or if you're at home, go shut it off. But most leaks are not catastrophic. It's like the toilet flapper valve is a little bit open, and you've got about a liter a day going down the drain. So it's like an economic problem. Or a kid left the faucet on a little bit, and you're losing like a liter a week or something. So most leaks are not catastrophic, and so you don't need a shutoff valve for those ones. You just need to know we weren't home this weekend and we used a liter of water. There must be something leaking somewhere. I'm going to go find it, and then you do it, and then it's like we weren't home this weekend and there was no water used. So we're bearish on the shutoff valve.
Got it. Anything else? Are you missing something?
Yeah, we're also bearish on Graywater recycling. So there's a big movement to reuse the same water over and over again. Obviously, black water, your toilet water, it goes to the city, done. But like shower water or wash your hands in the sink, Graywater, it's dirty, but it's not that dirty. Take a shower, like I don't want to wash in somebody else's shower water, but like you can filter it and you can use that same water over and over and over again. Good idea.
Yeah.
But the plumbing challenges, and of course the companies who are doing that would disagree with me. They're like, "No, we figured out the plumbing," but like, for a few homes or like a little limited market, but like universal adoption of gray water recycling in property, I just don't see it happening anytime soon. And then the plumbing code in every city is a little bit different, and like you go to some contractor, a plumber, to be like, "Oh, we don't install gray water recycling in all these showers." The guy's like, "I don't think this is code."
But don't you think this is good for the climate, right? So because my next question
is, what do you mean? How is it good for the climate?
Because you're reusing water, so you are consuming less water. Okay, so
but the climate, you're talking about global warming.
I mean, I'm talking about
environment.
I'm talking a limited resource, a natural resource which is limited. Water is limited, and you're trying to be smart about utilizing it again and again, right? So
there's cheaper ways to manage your water cost than recycle. I mean, it's theoretically, of course, that use the shower over and over again. But when you see the price tag on it,
it's not worth it, is it? Okay,
not worth it. And I mean, I get it. I'm politically left-leaning. I care about the environment. Use less, smaller footprint. If you talk to owners and occupiers of real estate, the biggest headache is too much water, leaks.
Okay. That is
conservation. I'm not against conservation, of course. Use less water, turn the faucet off, take a shorter shower, of course. But really, if you get down to the PropTech industry, like asset protection is number one, and that's leaks. Leaks is how you destroy value in a property. The second one is, and it gets into water use, it's reduce your utility bill. Water is becoming more expensive, and you want to be more efficient in your use of it, which means like turn off the water, take shorter showers, reuse of. I mean, your utility bill is energy. You want to save money. You want to less greenhouse gas emissions. Use less hot water. Hot water is like carbon. So, like, if you want to climate friendly, like hot water is where your big wedge is. I mean, Maintenance cost. Another one is maintenance costs. Got to maintain all these like assets and like these things, and then health and aesthetics. I would say stewardship of water is probably low. I mean, unfortunately, is low on the list of priorities. But I get, you get in trouble on stage for saying that because watering. I mean, if you look at water globally, to take a zoom back from real estate, you look at water on the planet. Yes, there's dry regions of India and the US and Europe where it's like water is becoming more and more scarce. Yeah, that's a problem. It's an economic problem for crops and for communities that need water for doing their business. I get it. But if you look at water, too much water problem, flooding, sea level rise, kill value, kill lives. The biggest killer, I think it's like 250,000 people die a year in flooding, as in like there's a wall of water coming at you and you're running away from it, dead, kill you. I don't know how many people die from scarcity. Couple, I'm thirsty, die. They don't die from that. They die from like, we have no water. We're going to go get water out of the river, and they die from the contaminated water. Like they die from the dirty water. So scarcity is more of an economic headache. That sounds a little bit overly simplistic because scarcity is people die from like malnourishment because there's not enough water for food, but they die from not enough food, or they die from dirty water. So if you look at it from a water tech perspective, the too much water problem is a bigger problem for humanity than the too little water problem. Now, it's hard to say that to somebody in a desert, to be like, too much water. The 12,000 people died in Libya last October. 12,000 people died, flooding, dead. So you talk about stewardship. You talk about, save water. Their family's dead. What do you mean save water? Like they died from water. So
I never imagined this. You actually flipped the script. Usually,
here's why. So Ravi, here's why. Human beings like you and me and every 8 billion people on the planet, our reptilian brain, like our oldest part of the brain, is like running out of time, running out of money, running out of food, running out of water, the running out of things. It's like, oh my God, I don't have enough. So it's in all of our instincts to worry about running out of water. But if you look at the facts, of course, scarcity is a problem. I'm not going to deny that. But the biggest killer of all of value, I mean, you can talk to guys in real estate, finance, and insurance. Go talk to finance, the fire sector, finance, insurance, real estate. They will tell you within a second, too much water is by 10 miles a bigger problem than too little.
Nice.
And then you talk about water quality, like the microbial, like E. coli, Cryptosporidium, Giardia, and then the metals like arsenic and mercury and PFAS, like organics, like kill. Oh, we don't have enough water? Oh, like no, I hate, I mean, it still is a problem because in places like people have to walk 2 miles to get water and come back. Of course, that's a problem. It's an economic problem because that person has to go walk and get water. They can't go to school. They can't generate economic value because they're just fetching water all the time. It's a problem. It needs to be solved. But like that doesn't kill anybody really directly.
Got it.
So the priorities is really like 7,000 people die every day from contaminated water. 0 people die from I don't have enough water.
Got it. So is there a connection between water, real estate, and climate change? If so, what and how might investors participate?
Two things. So getting back to climate and emissions. Pumping water from the city to your building, pumping is generating greenhouse gas emissions. So the more efficient the property is with their water, including reuse and recycling. I mean, there is a market for reuse and recycling of water. It's just not as big as people think it is. The more efficient you are with water in the property, the less greenhouse gas emissions you are. So real estate as an industry, of course, HVAC and lights contribute to greenhouse gas emissions and green buildings, less carbon for the building. Water contributes to that. And so tighten up your water allows you to reduce your emissions a little bit. And hot water is like a big one in there. So in terms of climate and real estate and water, there's opportunities on that side. On the adaptation side, like dealing with climate change, where it's like too much water, too little water, compromised water. If you're in a water scarce region, you will, by definition, need to be more efficient with your water use in property, which means you need water efficient appliances. You need technologies to enable occupiers to be efficient, or like the sensors where you just can use the water and then it goes off. So you don't have to turn on and off a faucet. It just like senses on. So you'll leverage technology to help you adapt to a new reality where water's scarce, water's expensive. Technology helps you adapt to that new reality. And then the flooding, if the property, the real estate, I mean, with climate, with a warmer atmosphere, yes, heat is a problem. Yes, fires are a problem, but a warmer atmosphere means it can hold more water. It's just physics. Warmer air holds more water than cooler air, which means there's just tons of water up there. And when it rains, it pours. So if your property is in a low-lying area, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, a little rainstorm, not a big deal. Now when it rains, your property is going to be in big trouble. So you're going to need to address that by building some walls or some better drainage. So a global warming is creating water quantity headaches for real estate owners and occupiers, depending on where you are. And on the quality side, for real estate, if your real estate asset is pulling water from the ground, and the groundwater is depleted because it's water scarce region, and you just switch to surface water or some other utility, new contaminants, or you need to go from surface water utilities to the ground, new contaminants, you're going to need to install different filtration. And so the quality problem, I mean, droughts and floods get all the headlines, but water quality problem is also part of a changing climate, where people have to switch water source. And your filter media is not designed for whatever contaminants in the new water source, which means people get sick. So there's a strong correlation between real estate climate and water. And building owners and occupiers would be smart to explore technologies that enable them to improve the use and management of water in property.
Got it. So when I mentioned about the connection between water, real estate, and climate, what and how might investors participate into this opportunity?
Build capacity to see deals in water use and management in property, from quality and quantity, and start to network, reach out to me, reach out to other individuals who are in plumbing and the water vertical within PropTech. I mean, if you look at our website, if you look at my LinkedIn, it's like, oh, John's in the water industry. Like, we're in PropTech as much as we're in InsurTech, as much as we're in AgTech, as much as we're in Climate Tech. Water is like a vertical within all these other industries.
Right.
So I think networking with other investors, start to see some deals, start to build your own thesis. And I think that in the next decade, like, the water headaches that humanity will have need like collaboration amongst investors and syndication. And I think it behooves us to collaborate more, to back founders with good ideas, and accelerate the deployment to market so that more people can benefit from good ideas.
Excellent, John. This comes to the end of a very, very fascinating conversation. I mean, you revealed so much fresh insights, new insights, disruptive insights, which actually challenged common sense. Okay, which only an expert would be able to reveal. So thank you for sharing your wealth of wisdom.
Learning. We're still learning. I have a lot to go, a lot of stuff on my desk to learn and read. Whatever wisdom we've gleaned, pinch of salt, and we're happy to share it with other people, and they can build on it to come up with their own ideas.
Does Mazarine also publish any insights and reports?
We do. We have on our website, under Insights, we have some point of views and some opinions and some events we host pretty regularly to enable our network to learn. If we learn things, we pass it on. We're impact investors, and a big part of our impact mandate is catalyzing sharing and learning opportunities for our network. So we don't like to sit on knowledge, and even deal flow. I mean, we're not going to share every single deal we see with everybody for free, but if we meet an investor who we like and we understand them, no NDAs, we'll just share our deal flow with them, and that's good for them, good for us. And we're very big on syndication. We have 6 other checkbooks that we hang out with on the playground, and we
Wow,
freely share things amongst each other.
nice.
And so we're always looking for new friends on the playground who share our view on water risk and leveraging technology to address it.
I always admire and appreciate VCs who share their knowledge and insights. The other one that I really admire is Pi Labs. So the VCs, Luke has been on my podcast a couple of times, and they also share a lot of these reports and make it public. So it's good for the world. So thank you, John, for doing the same, and all the best. And we'll keep in touch. I suspect this is going to be a popular podcast with people listening to this more widely. Thank you so much, John. See you around.
Thank you, Ravi. Have a nice day. Cheers.
You too. Bye bye.